Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Again, Karen Read, a big trial in the minds of the masses, was acquitted yesterday, June 18th, 2025. And a lot of people would have saw through this psychological operation a long time ago if they were aware of the code that the occult operates by. And again, just speaking of the occult, this is how her and the legal team posed after being acquitted. The old Hail Satan. That didn't stand out at all. But yeah, again, if you watch my streams, when I'm on the screen, there's always a license plate behind me that says, "What is 47?" And look at this totally bogus, obvious bullshit detail in the story. Along the path of the trial and the evidence that was laid out was the crash site where her ex, the Boston cop John O'Keefe, was killed. And they said from the crash site, the taillight broke into 47 pieces. I mean, it's just laughable, right? Like, it's impossible. It's impossible to break into 47 pieces. But that's just the thing right there, 47. If people knew what they were looking at, they'd see through it every day. This number is stuck in so many news stories arbitrarily and sometimes impossibly, like this one. How can a taillight break into 47 pieces? It's amazing people don't catch on to this, especially living in a nation that celebrates its birthday on the 4th of July, the 4th day of the 7th month. For people who haven't looked into it, it's arbitrary that we celebrate the birthday on that day. It's literally arbitrary. There's a lot better days that could have been picked as Independence Day, probably most notably July 2nd. But there's a reason it's the 4th of July. Look into the history of this nation. How many founders were part of that secret society that's very important to police? That secret society is Freemasonry, that studies the 47th problem of Euclid. You learned about it in geometry class. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's important to ancient builders. It was a formula used to create perfectly square foundations with just some anchor points and some rope and a little math. But yeah, 47, very special to the Masons. And again, the Masonic logo is instruments of geometry around a big G. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, makes this even more interesting because, of course, the man who was supposedly killed where the 47 taillight pieces were was John. John has that Gematria 47. And, of course, you think John, you think Christianity. If you're new here, the word Christian is 47. So is the word authority. So is the word government. Think about how all these things come together. Religious authority. Once upon a time, that was the government of Europe, and that's why people fled across the Atlantic to come over here. And they set up a new government, freedom of religion. Should have been freedom from religion. Would have been even better. But anyway, again, so many words connected to authority equal 47. News, government, authority, president, White House, Republican, Democrat, judge, gavel, obey. Did I say news already? I meant to if I didn't. News. For a lot of people, that's their ultimate authority. It's the only thing they believe in, no matter how much they mock them every day with the obvious bullshit and the number-encoded crap, like 47 taillight pieces. Even the chump's name equals 47. Yes, Trump equals 47, and we've been telling you about this for a long time. That's why we said 4 years before they reinstalled the chump, it would happen. And keep in mind, this does happen in the time of number 47. But yeah, just a few other details that are important. Again, it was the 79th day of the second trial where she was acquitted of murder, and murder equals 79. The second trial began on April 1st, April Fool's Day. And that's what this is, a nation of fools who don't pick up on patterns, who don't see this repetitive encoding of 47 and the crap that's fed to us every single day. Can somebody look up the clip of me debating Andrew Wilson where that moron tried to downplay the significance of 47? He went on Google and started typing. He's like, I just found that the news actually reports the number 10 the most because they do a lot of top 10s. It's like, what kind of rebuttal is that to what I'm saying about the way they encode 47 in their propaganda, you freaking moron? Anyway, From the supposed death of John O'Keefe on January 29, 2022 to the acquittal was 176 weeks and 4 days. If you're new here, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers and words, there's 4 base ciphers of the English language. And I learned about this from the 1926 book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. The 4 base ciphers are all based on the alphabetic order. That's why there is an order to the alphabet, because every letter is a number, just like it was in Hebrew and ancient Greek, the biblical languages. But it's the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. That's where John was 47. It's the reverse alphabetic order. Z is 1 back to A is 26. That's where John O'Keefe is 176. And then it's both orders with numerology applied. When you run John O'Keefe in reverse with numerology, it's 41, like the trial began on April 1st, 4-1. And when you run the alphabetic order forwards with numerology, Karen Reed is 41. A little bit too perfect. Also, another obvious detail in the PSYOP is that they began deliberations on June 13th, which is the day leaving 201 days left in the year. It's always a whopper of a date all throughout history if you look into it. This year we got the 201 state attacking Iran, that's Israel. We got the legal case of Dixon saying that, Tyler Perry sexually harassed him. We got the story that R. Kelly, who was sentenced to prison on the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by Rome, that the prison guards tried to poison him. God, what else am I forgetting? We got the deliberation of this. What else happened? Oh, yeah, we got the Army creating the 201st detachment on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Again, from the beginning of this nation, it's been Masons and Jesuits. The Jesuit order equals 201. Society of Jesus, their formal title, equals 79. So acquitted of murder after deliberations begin on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. June 13th would have been exactly a span of 176 weeks from the supposed death of John O'Keefe on 129, when the number 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. Yeah, it would have been 175 weeks and 6 days later, or an exact span of 176 weeks that deliberations began. Just think about that. Oh, yeah, and about just authority and 47, don't forget Vatican equals 47. Of course, we're on their calendar. We're speaking their language. Again, the Jesuits synced up the calendar and the language at the end of the 16th century. Did I mention that the words policeman and cop equal 47? Did I forget to write that down? Policeman and cop equal 47. I wrote it down up here. I might have forgot to say it. Again, just so many things connected to authority equate to 47. So where a policeman/cop was killed, the tail light broke into 47 pieces, and his name was John. I mean, give me a break. We'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share. And if you think they were just doing rock on here, you got to pull your head out of your rear end. It's so tiring watching the mockery take place every single day in the news and the average American not catching on. This 47 number, you just pay attention. It is literally everywhere in media, whether it's entertainment, news, sports history, and the first Super Bowl in the 47th season of the NFL when the league's credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. The first pro basketball championship in 47 when the sport's credited to the Freemason Naismith. MLB changed its logo in 47 when the sport's credited to the Freemason Abner Doubleday, etc., etc. And don't forget, in the first ever Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday, you had 47 points when Vatican's 47, and that date's February 11th, like 211's the 47th prime. And the Chiefs won that Super Bowl, and Andy Reid and Mahomes and the Super Bowls they'd all played in up through that game, the total scores had added to 211 points because the games were that scripted. That's why the announcers are saying they couldn't have scripted it any better. And that's what people need to wake up to. They're scripting your sports leagues. They're scripting your news. They're scripting your rigged selections that so many people are so passionate about. Just like they're so passionate about their rigged sports games. Again, theater is being controlled to manipulate the minds of the masses. And it's done every day by this Kabbalistic code. You know, case in point, the NBA Finals are going on in the 79th season right now, and we told you at the beginning of the year why the Thunder would be in the championship because they were the old Sonics team that won the championship in 79. And they've been paying tribute to Timothy McVeigh, who was executed in Indiana and who bombed Oklahoma City. And not to mention Halliburton as well, the oil company found in Oklahoma when the Star now plays on Indiana. Go back to the June 11th game, the anniversary of McVeigh being executed in Indiana. Execution equals 116. The Pacers won that day with 116 points. Again, the script that people need to learn to see. The mockery that's so transparent. Until next time.